The stranger. They cast out returned as someone they couldn't ignore. I grew up in a house where silence was louder than shouting. My parents never argued with me. They simply acted like I wasn't there. They praised my brother for every small achievement, while my successes went unnoticed. Eventually, I stopped expecting anything from them. The breaking point came when I was 16. They invited relatives over for a family achievement dinner. I assumed it was for all of us. It wasn't. It was for my brother alone. They asked me to serve food while everyone celebrated him. When I quietly refused, my father told the entire table that I was ungrateful and too average to be celebrated. Everyone laughed. I felt myself shrinking with every word. That night, I packed a backpack and left. No goodbye. No explanations. I went to a shelter that eventually helped me find part-time work. I finished school while juggling shifts, then started taking online classes in software development. I wasn't gifted, I was determined. My life became a cycle of study, work, and exhausted naps. Within a few years, things started to change. I built a small app that unexpectedly took off. Investors reached out. The app grew into a company, and the company grew into an entire platform. By 23, I was earning more in a month than my parents made in a year. I bought a home, hired a team, and built a life filled with people who chose me without hesitation. Then out of nowhere, my parents contacted me. Not with an apology, but with a request. My brother had accumulated medical debt, and they wanted me to do the responsible thing and cover it. They spoke to me like nothing had happened, as if I had never been erased from their lives. I listened. Then I told them the truth. I hoped my brother recovered, but I wasn't their safety net. And I wouldn't fix problems for people who had pretended I didn't exist. They called me selfish. They said success had changed me. Maybe it had. Maybe growing meant learning I didn't owe them the pieces of me they once ignored. I ended the call with a calm they didn't expect. The child they overlooked had become someone they could no longer reach. And for the first time, I felt free. In the weeks that followed, I thought about whether I had been too harsh, but every memory reminded me why I left. I remembered birthdays spent alone, school events they skipped, conversations where I spoke and no one listened. I realized that going back would only reopen wounds I had already healed. So instead of dwelling on them, I focused on the life I had built. I mentored students who reminded me of myself, supported shelters that once supported me, and created opportunities for people overlooked by everyone else. My past didn't vanish, but it no longer controlled me. I grew beyond the shadows of the home that never felt like home. And every step forward proved that sometimes distance isn't abandonment. It's the beginning of becoming who you were meant to.